The expedition to the forgotten Amazon jungle, a group of archaeologists, including researchers, scholars, and adventurers, gathered at an office in São Paulo, Brazil. Their mission was to explore a previously undiscovered area of the Amazon jungle, a place indicated by ancient maps that revealed traces of a long-forgotten civilization. Emily, an expert in ancient languages, and Gabriel, an experienced archaeologist, were the leaders of the expedition. They had meticulously prepared for this journey, but none of them knew that they were about to embark on an adventure that could change history forever. After several days of navigating vast rivers and treacherous jungle paths, the group began to uncover strange traces. Intricately carved stone drawings depicting mythical creatures unlike any civilization they had ever studied were found. These drawings seemed to tell a sorrowful story of the downfall of a great empire. Were these images merely works of art, or was there an important message buried beneath the earth? One night, while the group was resting at camp, a strange noise echoed from the jungle. Ethereal shadows began to appear around the campsite, flickering like will-o'-the-wisps. Gabriel, who had been on many expeditions, had never encountered anything so unusual. The group felt an eerie chill and tense anxiety, and none dared to leave the tent. The appearance of these phenomena unsettled the entire group. Could the jungle truly harbor secrets that humanity was not ready to face? Despite their unease, the group pushed further into the jungle and stumbled upon an ancient temple covered in moss and vines. The structures were unlike any temples they had seen before. Each wall was etched with complex symbols, and at the center stood a massive stone table surrounded by bizarre statues. The experts realized this civilization had an advanced understanding of architecture and art. However, a sense of unease filled the space. On their journey, the archaeologists encountered a native tribe living near the exploration area, but they had never dared venture deep into the jungle. They shared eerie tales of ghosts and mysterious creatures that appeared in this region. The tribe's leader warned them of the dangers of intruding into the jungle. The group began to realize that not only humans, but the jungle itself seemed to be a living entity, full of mysteries that not everyone could understand. As the group continued their exploration, they found ancient stone tablets inside a deserted temple. The inscriptions could not be deciphered by any language Emily had studied. However, one peculiar thing was that these tablets seemed to contain messages about the extinction of a civilization that had reached unimaginable heights. Were they on the verge of an incredible discovery, or was it simply an enigma that could never be understood? One night, as the group approached another ancient temple, everything suddenly changed. A fierce wind blew, knocking over ancient trees and darkening the sky. Supernatural phenomena became more intense, and a strange sound echoed from deep within the earth as if something was awakening. The horizon suddenly darkened, and a heavy rain began pouring down, forcing the group to seek shelter. What was happening in this jungle? As the group continued their journey, they discovered a strange stone table with carvings resembling stars in the sky. Gabriel and Emily believed this table was an ancient cosmic tool used to predict astronomical events. But when Emily touched one of the symbols, a brilliant light suddenly burst forth, causing her to fall back. The group could not explain what was happening. Had they unknowingly awakened an ancient force beyond their control? Throughout the next stages of the journey, strange phenomena occurred more frequently. The group members began to feel they were being watched by an invisible force. Objects in the camp moved on their own, and ghostly apparitions appeared and vanished in an instant. Strange dreams began to haunt them, seemingly related to past events. Gabriel, despite his many encounters with danger, could not explain these phenomena. One of the members, Lisa, began to sense a mysterious power emanating from the ground. She discovered an ancient bell, and when she touched it, it emitted a haunting sound. Instantly, a violent storm erupted and everything began to shake. It seemed as though a force from the past had been awakened, and the group began to panic. They realized that this jungle not only held historical secrets, but also a dangerous source of energy. Upon returning to the temple, Emily and Gabriel carefully examined the symbols on the walls. They realized that these inscriptions might be a map leading to a treasure, not of gold and silver, but of secrets that could change the world. However, at the same time, the strange phenomena became even stronger, making it difficult for them to concentrate on their work. The group realized they were not only facing a long-forgotten civilization, but perhaps a force that could not be explained. Gradually, questions from the past began to arise in the members' minds. Had this civilization truly developed to the point where they could control natural forces, or were they uncovering the mistakes of generations gone by? The deeper they dug, the more questions arose, and it seemed they might never uncover the full truth. One night, as the group was leaving the temple, they were surrounded by an invisible force. The walls of the jungle seemed to close in, forming a deadly trap. Gabriel and Emily tried to find a way out, but every direction led to cold winds and strange light. They realized that the jungle might have been guarded by some force for thousands of years. As the deadly trap tightened around them, a strange phenomenon occurred. Ancient ghosts, like souls trapped in the jungle, began to appear around them. The group felt surrounded by an invisible force, as if these souls were trying to warn them. Emily sensed sorrow in the air, as if these spirits were pleading for release. Though frightened, the group understood they could not continue avoiding this. They had to confront what had been buried for thousands of years. One night, as the group rested in a temple, Emily began to hear strange whispering sounds. These were not the voices of the group members, but faint noises as if someone was speaking to her from the darkness. These whispers seemed to carry messages from the past. Emily started to decipher the words and discovered that these spirits were not enemies, but protectors of the ancient civilization. They were trying to safeguard the secrets because they could bring danger to the modern world. While analyzing the symbols on the walls, Gabriel and Emily discovered a massive door hidden behind a stone wall. This door appeared to be sealed by a special mechanism, but they realized that the key was one of the carved tablets they had found. After hours of struggling with the mechanism, they finally opened the door. Inside was a vast space containing priceless artifacts, but also a terrifying source of energy. They had no idea whether these artifacts could change the world or simply bring disaster. Upon entering, the group discovered a large object at the center of the room. It resembled some kind of ancient machine, possibly a tool of the ancient civilization, to control or predict astronomical events. When one of the group members, Lisa, accidentally activated it, a powerful beam of light erupted and an ominous force seemed to be awakened. Suddenly, a cold wind swept through, blowing away all the objects in the room. Dreadful sounds echoed from the shadows. They realized this power was something they could not control. The strange events continued to occur at an accelerated pace. The noises in the night grew louder, and the group began to feel that these supernatural occurrences were not just hallucinations. Trees around them suddenly moved as if alive. The ground shook as though an earthquake was coming. The group realized they no longer had much time to decipher these secrets before everything spiraled out of control. They had to quickly find a way to leave the jungle, or they might never return. Before leaving, the native people once again appeared with a strong warning. If you continue deeper into the jungle, you will awaken something that cannot be controlled. They explained that the ancient civilization had created a powerful force to protect them from extinction. However, after discovering these secrets, the group could not turn back. They realized that the price had been too great, and not all secrets should be uncovered. As the group returned to camp, each member began to experience strange dreams. These dreams not only involved the phenomena in the jungle, but also images of strange creatures and ancient forces they had awakened. Emily dreamt of bright eyes staring straight at her, and Gabriel found himself drawn into an endless, murky universe. They realized these dreams were not just imagination, but could be part of a warning from the things they had awakened. In the process of studying the artifacts the group had collected, they realized one object might hold the key to unlocking a part of the ancient civilization. This key was not an object, but an ancient book written in symbols only Emily could understand. She realized that this was a book about controlling cosmic energy, containing a power that humankind could not control. Could they leave the book in the jungle, or would they take it with them and face unpredictable consequences? When the group faced the book, a heated debate arose. Emily and Gabriel believed the book could help them decipher many of the secrets they had uncovered, but other members felt it was a dangerous object and should not be taken out of the jungle. The group realized that this was not just an expedition, but a life-or-death decision for everyone. They could not agree on how to handle the book. After intense debates, the group decided not to take the book out of the jungle. They realized that the secrets inside were not meant for humanity to confront just yet. However, they knew they could not ignore the knowledge that could change the world forever. So, Emily and Gabriel made a bold decision. They would leave the book in the jungle, hidden safely, and tell no one else about its existence. They would face the truth that part of them would always carry the question, was this the right decision? The group began packing their things, preparing to leave the jungle. However, an indescribable sense of unease continued to envelop them. They could not shake the traces they had discovered. Part of them wanted to continue exploring, but another part feared the consequences of this curiosity. Supernatural phenomena seemed to keep haunting the group, as if the jungle was still watching them and didn't want them to leave. But their decision had been made. They would leave and leave everything behind in the past. As the group began to leave the jungle, they encountered a strange phenomenon. Dark clouds gathered, covering the entire area. The group members felt as if they were being watched by an invisible force. No one spoke, but they all felt that what had happened during the journey was far from over. Perhaps the Amazon jungle was not just a place that buried an ancient civilization, but a place where supernatural forces still lived, waiting for someone to return. Even after leaving the jungle, the strange phenomena didn't stop. Lisa started feeling the ghosts still following her, while Gabriel dreamt of strange images related to the ancient civilization. The dreams became more haunting, as if there was a connection between them and the jungle that they could not explain. Emily also felt that a part of her had changed forever. Even after leaving, they couldn't escape the feeling that the jungle still had a part of them within each member of the group. 1 week after the group returned to the city, the strange dreams became even more intense. Emily began hearing whispers in her head, as if there were a warning from the ancient spirits. These sounds were unexplainable, but she felt they carried a strange power, as if the spirits in the jungle were trying to convey one final message. One night, she awoke in a panic, hearing whispers from a familiar voice. "Return. It is not over." This warning haunted her. Emily decided to return to the Amazon jungle alone. She couldn't bear the feeling that there was an unsolved mystery. Although the remaining members of the group strongly opposed it, Emily felt drawn to something she could not resist. She knew she might never return, but she had to face the truth. She set off, carrying memories of an expedition no one could explain. When Emily returned to the jungle, everything seemed unchanged. The jungle remained still, but there was a distinct shift. The trees, the shrubs, everything seemed to be watching her. Each step she took felt like an invisible force was protecting the jungle. Emily didn't know what she would find, but she felt an odd connection between herself and the jungle. Was this the end of her journey, or just the beginning of a greater secret? Emily entered the temple where the group had first explored. An eerie feeling filled her. She knew the jungle held secrets no one could understand. The dreams still came, and the ghosts still followed her. She placed her hand on the strange stone table, feeling a power rise from deep within the earth. Suddenly, a cold wind swept through, and everything around her began to change. Leaving one final question unanswered. Will the secrets of the Amazon jungle remain buried forever? Or will one day someone brave enough come to unravel them? The story ended, but the Amazon jungle kept its secrets. Ancient spirits, forgotten memories, and unfathomable powers still lay within, waiting for someone to return. The tale of this expedition had never ended. It was simply waiting for the next chapter to unfold.